There's a whole trajectory now. There's an ecosystem on the internet. There's a pathway for you if you are a groomer rapist. And that pathway is being a right-wing conspiracy nut job. That is the pathway for you. If you see the writing on the wall, if your numbers are suddenly getting very high, it's like, wow, there is a lot of women who are going to be coming out and telling my story. Well, let's stop talking about the NHS, let's stop talking about the housing crisis, let's stop using the word capitalist or talk about capitalist greed at all, and let's switch over to ivermectin, Bashar al-Assad, the elites, George Soros. There we go. Hey Lance, it's my first stream in years. Well, welcome back. I'm glad. Things are even cozier than before. Yeah. It gets a little noisier. You know, the middle of the streams are a lot busier now. We had like 600 people yesterday, which is pretty cool, by the way. Thanks everyone for trusting me with your daily intake of news and coverage. A lot of people were like, you know, I was really dreading watching the Channel 4 documentary on Russell Brand, but I'm really happy I got to watch Lance's coverage of it because, like, obviously, you know, he's going to be able to talk about abuse from a responsible perspective. I appreciate that. I appreciate all of y'all not only deciding that this would be a safe space to do so, but also one which I was going to take with some degrees of seriousness. I am a clown. I'm a class clown kind of guy. I do like being silly, and I do like making people laugh because it does give me joy as well. It's not just altruism. It's also, you know, it's a two-way street for sure. But then there's shit like that where you're just like, this is fucked. Well, just like, this is one of those stories, by the way, and don't worry, we're not getting brand locked yet because there is still more Russell Brand shit that I gotta cover, but this is one of those stories where, like, holy fuck, did the right go all in without reading the news article? Because, like, there's no way in hell I would be able to get through, like, the plethora of testimonies against, say, like, Andrew Callahan or Justin Roiland, for example. Like, when you start going deep into, like, the text messages, the multiple corroborations, the fact that one of his victims went, or I should say survivors, one of his survivors went to a rape clinic and there's medical records and they had to be given antibiotics and emergency contraception. Like, there's a long history of this. There's also now multiple moments, like, we watched video footage of him actually sexually assaulting people on TV. And that was just him assaulting them on a show, like pulling his pants down and shoving his ass in women's faces, or just like fully like grabbing them and, you know, physically grabbing them while like making out with them unconsensually, by the way, because they're in the middle, like pushing him away and stuff. Like, that's what he was doing on TV. That's like what there's video footage of. And now there's all these accusations that also have, again, tons of text messages, corroborations, emails. Like, this one's not a simple just like he said, she said. Everyone's kind of like, well, I don't know if there's any other things. Like, this is like kind of like a career-long, lifelong, like, whoa, yikes. And by the by, Russell Brand has not denied sleeping with a 16-year-old when he was in his 30s. He hasn't denied that. He's just said it was consensual. That's all he said about that, you know? And for all the people like, actually, Lance, that's legal in the UK, the age of consent is 16. Cool story! Gross! Gross! Every time I see that, I'm like, what the fuck kind of defense is this? Yeah, we actually, yeah, a 40-year-old can fuck a 16-year-old in the UK. Gross! That should change! Okay, that's not good! Fucking weird! I don't know! I see 16-year-olds and I'm like, you all look like little kids! Why the fuck? Like, it's also legal for you to have sex with a 25-year-old. I mean, that's still kind of, it's not age appropriate for you, dude, but at the same time, it's like, it's so far away from a 16-year-old, they look like they're 12, they're going through puberty and shit. Let them be teenagers! Leave them the fuck alone, you know? Just stay away from this. It's not your scene. Have you tried talking to a teenager as someone in their late 30s? Like, they have a different language, okay? They're on a different wavelength, as was I when I was a teenager. Holy fuck. Anyways, weird defense. Stop doing it. Stop using that as a kind of like a gotcha. Hey, Lance, I hope you know, in the UK, it's 16. Okay, that's the age of consent. Fine. It's not a crime. I never said crime. I never said the word crime. I said it's fucked. I use the term fucked. I think it's fucked if like a 35-year-old wants to fuck 16-year-olds. Yeah, that's fucked. Go fuck fucking 30-year-olds. Go fuck 35-year-olds. I don't know. There's like, come on. There's so many people in the world. There's so much fucking, there's so many people to fuck. So many. Why do you gotta fuck 16-year-olds? What is wrong with you? My dudes. Deeply troubling that is a frequently seen defense on the internet when it's like, yeah, so but you can agree this is bad, right? You can agree there's a problem. Like, did you listen to the testimony of the person with whom they spoke about this entire issue? It's really weird and twisted. It's nightmare fuel. It's the kind of shit that you hear, like when I'm told of the fucking the abuse of pedophiles and shit like that. That's the way that they speak. Like, holy shit, like talking to my little dolly and like, oh, daddy's here, my dolly, blah blah blah, and I'm so happy and excited you're a virgin and shit like that. What the fuck? What the fuck? This is wrong. You are the same people who complain all day about trans people being predators, all day for money. All of you, that is your grift, that is your gig, full time. Like, I've seen every one of their YouTube channels. You click on videos, it's like trans. Biden embarrassed himself. Trans. Oops, Biden not so good. Trans. Like, the obsession runs so deep, and it's always like, yes, trans people are going to get into prisons and abuse women. Trans people are going to get into sports teams and abuse women. Trans people are going to get into hospitals and abuse women. Trans people are getting into schoolrooms and abuse kids. And it's like, no, nope. Look, once again, we found the groomers, we found the pedophiles. They're all right-wingers. They're all right-wing cishet men. They're all dudes, and the majority of them keep being right-wingers. Pastors, police officers, fucking counselors, principals, teachers, yeah, but they're dudes, straight dude teachers, not the queer ones. It's the straight dudes, and pundits after pundit after pundit. And yes, wow, this one, oof, it's bad. A lot of people were saying about a lot of things for a long time. Majority of the industry totally silent, but everyone knew. Once again, weird that keeps happening, right? Same thing with like Louis C.K. Fucking Penis C.K. It was like, yeah, I kind of knew. What, you knew? Yeah, I had heard about it. Yeah, but yeah, I'd heard, I was kind of like, maybe it's not as bad as they say. Is he locking them in the rooms and forcing them to watch, or did they want it? I don't know. Yeah, it just, but yes, I had heard to stay away from him. He's dangerous, kind of thing. So that was the thing. Russell Brand, it was just straight up like fucking. Women were on roasting him. A woman at the Comedy Central roast where he was like on this panel of roasty judges was just straight up, you're a rapist. You are a rapist who has raped people, you fucking rapist. And that got cut. We never saw that. We never got to see that. But then now, since she's been subsequently interviewed, it's clear who she's talking about, and it has now confirmed that. Yeah, so there's that whole shit. There's just like, again, with Russell Brand, this is a person with whom we watched him sexually assault people on camera, on TV. And yeah, it was a different time, but that's what happened. And so that part is like what you already know of. There's evidence. He's doing it there. That's him sexually assaulting someone. So he's not raping anyone on camera, true, but we do have multiple women who have now come forward to say, some of whom were 16, that he physically, sexually abused them, raped them. Yes, unfortunately, that is what their testimonies not only have said, but have been backed up by, again, medical records, other people's testimonies who they confirmed that they were told, text messages in which he acknowledges that no means no, and then he apologized afterwards. So that is pretty much someone confessing to potentially sexually assaulting another person. There's a overwhelming amount of evidence on this man, and he's not like the truth teller of truth tellers. It's not Julian Assange, he wasn't publishing deep government secrets. He's talking about how ivermectin cures diseases that it doesn't cure. That was the thing. Oh, I'm waiting for one day fucking ivermectin done fucking kill us or fucking killed the crane fucking shit. Let me know in the fucking comments what you think about my fucking ivermectin. It's not exactly, destroying the levers of power. Oh, you got too close. He really got too close to the sun, that Russell Brand. He figured it all out, and he started letting too many people know. Quickly, let's predict that will happen years into the future and plant a 16-year-old for him to groom and rape so that we can then reveal years later on a completely separate journalist's news program that he's really, really bad guy. That'll stop him. Good thing we predicted this, you know? Who could have seen it coming? Who? I mean, there's a whole trajectory now. Yeah, I know. I got Brand locked. That's fine. He fucking deserves it. Motherfucker deserves a rant or 2 or 5. You know, like there's a whole trajectory now. There's an ecosystem on the internet. There's a pathway for you if you are a groomer rapist, and that pathway is being a right-wing conspiracy nut job. That is the pathway for you. If you see the writing on the wall, if your numbers are suddenly getting very high, it's like, wow, there is a lot of women who are going to be coming out and telling my story. A lot of women. And there's a lot of women with a lot of bad stories. Some of them were kids. Some of them definitely were kids. Well, let's stop talking about the NHS. Let's stop talking about the housing crisis. Let's stop using the word capitalist or talk about capitalist greed at all. And let's switch over to ivermectin, Bashir al-Assad, the elites, George Soros. There we go. I still get to have opinions, you know, on the internet. Except in this new version, I'm not ever really going to take strong stances on anything. Just going to say that I don't like really take a position one way or another. I just want to have interesting conversations with lots of other people. They may happen to be a lot of people on the right to far right. And then that's just it. We're going to talk about ideas and concepts and speech, freedom of speech. See, this is the principle that we all care about deeply. It's just being able to say whatever you want. And if they try to take that away from me, it's not because I was a massive groomer rapist. It has everything to do with the fact that I told the truth. And I was the only one who was willing to put it out there. No one else has said the things I've said as I read this Gray Zone article. No one ever thought of these ideas. The ideas I'm reading to you live here on my fucking show. Like, it's just, again, so much ass has been shown in the past fucking, 48 hours on this story. So much ass. This, you all bet on such a fucking foul horse. Oh, this is a foul horse. This is a disgusting foul horse. Like fucking 16-year-olds. Again, accuse, yes, not every accusation is an admission of guilt. Yes, you have to keep saying that every single time this shit comes out. Why don't we listen to the multiple stories? Because that's the stories that just came out at this moment in time. Then you will have an opportunity to tell everybody your opinions on this topic, which, surprise, it's like, 16 is the age of consent, though. 16 is legal. He didn't commit a crime, No crime was committed. Cool story, bro. Do you enjoy the Serfs but prefer not to have to use your eyeballs? Many are saying this. Well, we've got the solution for you. It's the Serf Times in podcast form. Available on most major podcasting networks now. If you enjoy it, please consider leaving a good review and feedback because it really helps the show out, apparently, and it's free, just like the podcast.
Thank you so much for watching, everybody. This show is produced by amazing people like you, and if you want to help us out, please consider donating over at patreon.com/theserfs. The show is made possible thanks to Amazing Fletch, Anna Loves Riley, Ariane McCarthy, Cheryl Alvarez, Doug Cady, Everything Important, Hagbard Celine, Laminia Panza, Matthew Scarborough, Multimondi, Omni, Peanut Butter Blondie, Political Pappy, Quiet 185, Rachel K, Riley and Anna, Roller Dragon, Ruby K, Sir Nickus, Spinach Monster, Stellar Vision, Sebastian Demo, Tech Tink, Trevbot EXE, Words Greenwood, and not to mention all of the amazing and fabulous people you now see before you.